hit that button and see what the evening brings.
Mm-hmm.
And in true fashion, I have literally no idea whether we're live or not live.
We are currently
not live.
Not live. Oh, there we go. There we go.
You got it? 'Cause I ain't got it.
We got it.
Well, I not got it.
Live and in technical.
Oh, there we go, baby. I've got it. Boom. And all of a sudden, we click into live. Easy as that. Get the chat up so I can see what's going on. I was just tuning into the Arm Historian. Who's in the chat? Go on, the Arm Historian. Love him.
He's good. He's good.
He's ace.
There are a few personalities that are rising up now, and there's like a new wave of new guys kind of rising up. It's fun. It's fun to see. It's fun to see all the new ideas and the new creativity. I like that a lot.
I do. It's absolute quality. I think you're largely responsible for a lot of this shit as well, John.
Well, you know, anything that screws everything up, I'll take it. I'll take it. Right? I'm here for the misfits. That's all.
You've only had the one mistake in life, John. You just you had the one javelin thing. Holy living shit! Double teamer super chat flyer straight off the bat. So David Toms just went pow with a massive super chat. Good evening, gentlemen, mate. Good evening to you. It's myself and Uncle John in the mother fluffing house. And just as it lands, in comes Silky Wilkie with a criminally large super chat. Biblical super chat on a night when it's been about biblical things, because the Arm Historian is working on a match with Jesus Christ himself in the dark card. That happened tonight, guys.
Yes. I like that booking. I like that booking a lot.
Well, you said there, you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of new ideas. And as you know, as far as I'm concerned, I've thought about putting on some big matches. You know, sometimes I'm thinking, you know, Devin, Larratt, Jerry Cadorette, pretty big match. But I've got to say, you know, he who sitteth on the right hand of the Father, not literally, but, you know, that'll be a big match right there.
So, and then, okay, so you put on that promotion, right? And he shows up.
Yeah.
And you're like, you didn't bring your dad?
Well, I'll be honest with you, John. Some people could say that it might pose a little problem. Okay. I mean, you know, in Arm Wars, there's two things we love. The first one is that 50-50 matches.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people might look at that with a bit of skepticism and say, well, who do you have Christ pull? Not here on the fix, guys, because we know. Danny Tesch.
There's only the one.
We wheel out Danny, and suddenly, God's an underdog. If he stops Christ, it's on.
Dude, that's a trilogy movie. That's a trilogy, because movie one is the search for Danny, right? That's a whole movie in and of itself.
Yep.
And then wherever the hell you find him, you got to go get him, and you got to train him. Like he's got an amazing baseline, but this is Christ. So in the sequel, you train him as you're going to the event. And of course, it's going to be a celestial event, right? Yes, up in the clouds somewhere, you know.
I mean,
and then number 3, the third film, that's the battle. That's the true contest.
The final conflict. Tesch versus Christ. I mean, I'll tell you what, mate, I think it'd be a lovely match. So if the Arm Historian does have any connections with Christ, and let's be honest, it's probably seen more than Danny Tesch in the last, I think a few people will have had more Christ sightings than we've had of Danny Tesch. When was the last time Danny was actually like, so when's a confirmed sighting?
Years.
I wonder, anybody in the chat who knows, have we got any Aussies in the chat? And you actually do know the last time that there was a confirmed sighting Danny Tesch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us know.
Well, Arm Historian says, I'm running to a lawyer to secure the rights. Back off, Uncle John.
Yeah, back off. You're not having the God match.
Imagine. It's Danny Tesch versus Jesus, and you're commentating, and Danny Tesch just flashes him, and you're like, oh, and he pinned his hand right to the pad. And Jesus just looks at you and he's like, too soon.
Mate, the hits just keep on coming.
It writes itself.
Kind of quality content, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday night zone, and it's all down to the Arm Historian for setting up that match, mate. We will take it. Whenever you're next in touch with God, let me know. It's on. So Silky Wilkie, mate, unbelievable super chat there. David Toms, thank you very much for your super chat. Silky Wilkie had put, Happy Father's Day, Neil. He is to start the stream off right. Good day, Arm Wrestling fam. What a leg end. I'll tell you what, Silky Wilkie, my hat is off to you, mate, and so many others. White Wolf, who's in with the super chat, we'll talk about again in a minute. David, all you guys, you know what is awesome? I don't give a, I mean, I'll be in the car, right? Let's have a look. Let this guy in. You ask and you shall receive on the fix, ladies and gents.
Oh.
So I'll be in the car and I'm listening to any stream you want. I don't care what it is. I get in there and there's Silky Wilkie. There's David Toms. There's White Wolf. There's a host of these guys, and they are everywhere and anywhere, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's friggin' awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, just joining us live from Australia, and it's rare that you'll hear me say live, motherfuckers. On this occasion, it is, and it's Jordan the Reacher Davis.
Boom. What's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a minute.
Jordan, oh, you're on mute, brother. You're on mute.
Oh, there we go. How's that?
Ah,
There we go.
There you go.
Hey, how we going, fellas?
Good, buddy.
I've left early for work this morning because, as you know, it's 3 years this year of the fix.
It is.
Right? Today, 156 weeks.
Mate.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what. The other week, we came on here, I was looking at this and I thought to myself, holy shit, we've done a few of these, you know, and it's very rare we've missed a week. Very rare.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It really is. And it's you know, what can I tell you? It's ridiculous. So many shows and it doesn't seem long.
Nah.
Yeah, it just goes, right? It just goes.
Quick question, mate. The last time you were over at Arm Wars, yourself and the mighty Uncle John, was the week of the javelin. Right. Where have you been, son? Where have you been?
Me? Well, I had a newborn like 8 months ago. Well, 7 months ago now. So I took about probably 6 months off before and a little bit after type thing to get life sorted with the new one coming along. And this year I kind of started afresh and just started training up, bulking up. So yeah, having a good time.
What are you weighing?
I reached triple digits.
Nice.
Yeah, so a couple of nights now I've been 100 kilos, so
bad.
Feeling strong.
Wow, Reacher's filling out.
But you are, what are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
And how old now, John?
27.
Yeah, so you're getting old now. You'll be dead in a bit. I mean, look at myself and John. So who's that ringing? The fuck is going on?
No, I'm here to half your age.
That was Rob Vigent Jr. calling in there. It's always a little bit disturbing. But RBJ was there. I'm just going to take a flyer and send him the link. No apparent reason. It's
always good to see what Rob's up to.
Could be nothing to do with that, John, but you got to entertain yourself. While we're on it, when can we see you next, John? When would you like to be? If I was to fling an Arm Wars match at you, when would we see you again? Because I got a guy, and he's in the chat, and his name's Mika Sakwaralidze.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Mika doesn't want this heat.
I'll tell you what, I love that match. I fucking love that match.
after him crying after one match in Arm Wars last time, I don't think he can handle me. So,
what did you think of him? Genuinely, I know you. He jumped
no,
on.
he's a superstar, man. Mika and I chat every now and then, very little, but still watch his progress on the socials and stuff. So he's killing it. He's up and coming, but I haven't seen him beat Dallas yet. So
Yeah, you got to love a man who can get a put down in as he's bigging a guy up, and you did actually beat Dallas. You know, Dallas was more concerned about pulling you than he was about pulling Mindaugas Gulskis.
Yeah, yeah.
And they say that styles don't make fights. Fucking hell. Tell you what, you had previous though, didn't you? You'd pulled him before, hadn't you?
Yeah. Now I've got the winning record thanks to Arm Wars. So
Yeah.
I was down 2-1. Now I'm up. I think it's like 5-4 or something. So just that 1 point lead is all I need.
It's funny, isn't it? You guys came over. Your first Arm Wars was the same event. There's so many matches out there, Jordan. When obviously you had the little one and you walked away at the time when the matches were stacking up. I want to say now that you're coming back in, there's more.
Yeah. The field is
I really
deepening.
like the last one you pitched me, Neil. I was keen for that. It's just trying to get the house ready for Bob and all that. Just timing didn't work. So I'm hoping maybe early next year or something like that. I'll be like one of the first ones next year because I'm head focused on nationals this year for Australia, and that's in October. I want to take out the super heavies. So yeah, I've been fighting the big boys here in Australia at 90, 80 kilos for, you know.
Who's your main guy you're going after in that weight then over there?
Because we're tested now, there's only a handful of people that will show up. So there's Guntas Baikovs, there's Marcus Atirai, and Mario Tembakis.
Dude, has anybody beaten Gunters like lately at all?
The last person to do it was in 2018. That was the last time he basically pulled.
Right.
And that was Ryan Scott. And if you're where I was standing, you wouldn't have called it a pin. But the rest decision is the rest decision at the end of the day. So
look, Gunter's Baikovs, when I first started arm wrestling in like the first 1 to 3 years, he was living in the United States at that point in time. And I saw him at an Illinois state tournament in like 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. And like nobody knew who he was. And you had guys like Doug Allen was there. And there was like several guys, Blaine Middleton, strong guys. And Gunter's just murdered everyone. He's
been on my hit list for 6 years now. I took his wrist in a state tournament. I was the first person to do it down here. And I was like, yes, that was in my prep for WAL. So I was really firing back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get this. I versed him 4 times that day because we had the super heavies and then we had overalls. And the first time I took his wrist, every other time I just couldn't get anything back. I used all my energy. So I'm gunning for him if he comes up because Nationals is in my state this year, so I don't really have to travel far. But for Guntas, it's like a 3-hour flight. So whether he wants to come up or not, that's up to him. But if he's there, I'm gunning for him. So
you're in Brisbane, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
So are you still training with Ryan, with Lachlan, with that crew?
No, so they train with a different crew, about 40 minutes in a different direction. I go into the city and train with the guys there, or to the north side. They train out towards the Gold Coast type area. Not that far, but on the way to the Gold Coast, basically from where I live. So, yeah.
How big is that area, mate? Is it quite a big catchment?
You can kind of get to everyone's within an hour from where I live. Except for there's a crew probably about 2.5 hours north. And then we've got the far North Queensland crew that are like a 3-hour plane trip away. So
no, yeah. I saw that with Ryan's crew, there's a South African kid that's training over there that looks pretty bloody solid as well.
Yeah, I actually I sent him over to the guys over there. So the group that I train with in the city, it's a lot of smaller guys, and very rarely we get bigger guys that he would have had. And like I can't say that I'm going to be there from week to week because of work or family. So I said, there's other crews that have a lot bigger guys, a larger training group.
Yeah.
You probably want to head down to them because I grouped up with him first, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
He was strong. He was legit strong. Like I had to hold center to have anything to do with him.
Mhm.
He had a lot of inside, literally side force, as long as he kept his wrist. But I couldn't really take his wrist once I passed 1/3 of defensive. He was just super strong. Super strong off the bat. So,
well, I don't know whether you caught it, but we've just had the best of the South Africans, Terence Opperman, just
I did see that.
Arm Wars, and let me tell you, very legit.
Yeah,
very, very legit individual. He really was. I mean, you ever met him, John? Have you come across Terence before?
I've never met him. I would love to, though.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen. Very powerful lad. Very powerful lad. And he's one of those guys that, because he's in the middle of nowhere, I think everybody's sort of forgotten about him. Like he'd gone off the radar for quite a while and nobody really saw him about. But he's come back in, and I don't think he's missed a beat. I think he's right there.
Think he's right at that level?
Mate, I think he's up amongst it. I think there's matches out there that I'd love to set for him. I mean, I've talked about it on here. The dates aren't going to work out for the match that I really wanted, which with Ryan Espy. I thought that was a fantastic match.
Yeah.
But, I've got another option for Dark Card 3, which will be immediately following East versus West. And I actually think him and Mindaugas Dulskas could be really, really good as well. That's going to be another one that I'd love to see the outcome of. We know that that's Espy, incidentally, not Terence. Terence pulled the last Dark Card and did very, very well with Mindaugas. I think Espy and Dulskas, not left arm. I actually think that Espy's too much, to be perfectly
on the left.
But yeah, I believe so, if he's the guy that he used to be, and I've no reason to believe he wouldn't be. I mean, he's. I think it might have been on the show that he does with Jody.
Yeah,
I think I saw that, and Ryan said that he was pulling pretty well. Ryan's left is, in my opinion, his arm better than his right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll see him. I'll be seeing Ryan at Canadian Nationals, not this week, not next weekend, but the following weekend.
So that right-handed, I think, is a really, really interesting match. Left-handed, I think that Ryan's a little bit too much. The other guy that I think matches up very, very well, and I really want to see down the tracks with Terence Opperman, would be Sandris Sheris.
Ooh. Interesting clash between those two.
Yes, it is. I think that's fair. And also, Terence really wants that match.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, really wants that match badly. Wanted it. The biggest issue, mate, is the WAF Worlds are, I think they start on the 24th of August through to like the 1st of September. So that is a big thing for the Latvian crew, obviously. So I don't think you'll be seeing Sandris for a little while. But August out of the window, we move forward to October. That could happen.
Nice.
If I get hold of that, Sandris will try and pull that together. But in the interim, so many matches, so many people I want to get over. There's a vicious rumor floating around that myself and Uncle John are both completely fucked. It is, in fact, true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't confirm. I can't confirm.
We can confirm that is, in fact, the case. But we have a plan.
We do have a plan. Not only do we have a plan
to come to Arm Wars, or
we have the plan. We have the plan. It's like, it's kind of like what's a real smart movie? Like when you think about movies and you think, oh, well, this is a real smart, like what was the one where Matt Damon is the genius janitor?
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, so cross that with Dumb and Dumber, and that's probably what we're going to be doing.
the one.
Yep. Yep.
But it starts soon.
Yeah.
And it'll probably end in 2024 sometime.
Have you had any further conversation along those lines?
Shall be this week.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Shall be this week, John. And
I'm ready.
all may start to roll.
Excellent.
But when it rolls, shit's gonna roll.
And just like the dark art, everyone, we are all in the dark again.
Hey, don't worry about it. All will become clear.
Don't worry. We'll go live and tell everybody what happened.
Oh, yeah.
100%. We will definitely go live. Listen, I'm gonna knock over some of these super chats that are backing up in this.
Before you do, Neil, I do have to head off. I just wanted to pop in and on the anniversary. And
Mate, thank you. Awesome to
have a
see
good
you,
one.
Jordan. Good to know
you
you're
too,
back in
guys.
the mix. We'll keep Satwaradidze warm. We'll keep Nana
keep
Stab
me in the
warm.
pot. Keep me in the pot.
Yeah.
It's on, mate. Early 2024. We'll look to get you back in the Iron House, dude.
I'll make sure the Iron House is up and running proper next time. All right.
Top
Good.
man.
We
Cheers,
need
mate.
that. Need that.
Take it easy.
See you, fellas.
So let me knock some of these over. DBD Stephen. It's Stephen Pena back in the
Pena.
house. He's put happy birthday, Dad. Stephen Pena loves you, mate. Hope you're well, dude. Hope you're having a good day. I'm seeing Stephen Ages. White Wolf with a massive super chat. Love the wolf. And he's put happy Father's Day, everyone. So for all you daddies out there, hope you've had a good one. Hope you've been out. Hope you've had maybe a few cheeky beers.
Have you had a few cheeky beers today, Neil?
You know what? I have not had a cheeky beer, but I have had a cheeky Lucasade, funnily enough. And
Look at
apparently,
that.
you energy, so could be a good night, John. I'm saying. See what
Going
happens.
deep. Going deep inside.
Anything can happen. All I'm saying is this: it's fucking hot tonight, mate. I told Jake last week I had my neck fan on. He loved it. Hot? Oh, it was warm last week, mate.
Why? I just don't understand. Okay, I get everything is old as hell in Britain, right? Everything is old as it gets.
True.
But like there is technology. Like there are fans and like air conditioners, like
That's
right?
the kitty. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one that's missing.
It's
See,
just
I rue the day that I got this house and overlooked aircon. Because at that time, you gotta remember, John, when I moved into this place, I was like 83 to 85 kilos, had that 6-pack going on, wasn't too worried about any of that stuff, not overheated, not worried about that. Suddenly, you wind the clock forward about 25, 30 years, and I've turned into a large sea-bound mammal. And at this point, mate, yeah, once a man gets ankle tits, it's a hard road back.
look.
And warm.
You can only dig so deep, right?
Now I struggle with the heat. The sun is not a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Do you like sun, John?
No, I don't care for sun at all. I actually don't care for outside at all.
Really?
I just like to be away from nature and humans and most things. That's how Uncle John powers up. Because then I go to like Ontario and do the Be Strong thing, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm an extrovert. And then I come home and I'm just like, I'm in my fortress of solitude. Just
So you must. I mean, when you were, but I know at the moment you're a bit knackered. But when you were going out and training, how many guys were you training with? Was it a big
for our club, we would have like 10 to 15, probably.
Yeah.
So
and is that, how big's Halifax?
Well, Halifax proper is about 300,000 people, and the entire Halifax regional municipality is about 600,000 people.
Mm-hmm. How many clubs? Just one?
No. There's probably 3 clubs in that 600,000 people, and then there's probably 6 other clubs that are in the rest of the province.
Okay, so it's there's a decent interest over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mate, Canada, what a place! Biggest fish in the world. Love it. I could in Canada.
Did I tell you though? Like, I haven't made this public yet, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving Canada.
Another Fix exclusive, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
Fix exclusive on show 156. Show 156.
Carry on, mate. Just thought I'd
Yep.
get that in there.
Yep. Put it in your calendar, because later this year, taking the wife, moving back to the good old USA.
Oh my God, you're becoming a septic again. I love it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, it's going to get good.
Now a yank again.
I've been living a socialist life for the last 10 years. And so I think I'm going to cross the border, and Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song is going to be pounding in my ears. I'm going to light off some fireworks, shoot some guns, and just really celebrate freedom.
Do you think you'll still sort of compete in dual nationality? Do you think you'll still keep Canada close to the titty tit tits?
Oh, yeah. So I am officially a Canadian citizen now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have dual citizenship, basically. So we're just going back because, some of you in the chat may have heard this. Canada's healthcare, not the best.
Mm-hmm.
So heading back to the US of A to try to maybe get a little extra help in good old America.
Have I mentioned, John?
Got a plan.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And son.
I know, right?
Could happen. White Wolf with a second super chat. Not playing games tonight is the Wolf. He's put, we were already discussing the rules. No godly powers allowed. We're going back to the Tesch and Christ match, and apparently Tesch is going to have to tone it down so God can keep up.
Like, if Tesch was a demon, then I would have an understanding of the power balance, but it's almost like God versus God, right? It's I mean, you ask somebody, a devout Christian, okay, how pure is Jesus? They're like, all the pure, 11. It's an 11. And then Danny Tesch is there, and I'm like, I'm sorry, he's a 12. I'm sorry.
There in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I mean, he's elusive. It's very godly. He's omnipotent.
Supernatural, paranormal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everywhere you are, he is. Other day I'm in the bath. Yeah. You honestly.
He's always just whispering in your ear.
It's like being on Talladega Nights, isn't it? My Jesus. I like to picture my Jesus.
I prefer baby Jesus.
That's a great scene there. I love that. NWUK1 has just come flying in with a super chat. Evening, gents. Happy Father's Day. Caught the Devon Sonef match the other day. Uncle John, great work on the mic. He was energetic as hell. You were going for it there, weren't you, mate?
It was really fun. It was really awesome. I paid for it dearly the next 3 days. My body was done, but I got myself up, and for that hour of time, I was like, boom, boom, boom. We are knocking these things out. And it really helped that even though the matches, other than the opener, the matches were all 4-0, but they were all very exciting. Lots of different stuff was happening. So it was good.
Yeah, it was one of those weird ones, wasn't it? Where the matches were whitewashes, but in some, not in all cases, but in some cases, didn't warrant that. I mean, particularly Sonef and the MF Chef.
Oh, yeah.
Better match than the scoreline suggested, as was
way better.
Both those matches bangers.
Dude, I've always had good respect for Sonev as an arm wrestler, but it went way up. To watch what he does in person and like the way he was throwing his body at Devin's arm and some of those, that even, and all the way through, I was like, after round 1 or 2, I was like, okay, well, he's probably done now. And Devin will just do whatever, but he kept banging and banging away until the very end.
Mate, what round was it? Maybe the third round, second or third round, where he just went on like a tirade of unbelievable hits, like one after the other, just trying to bone on bone hammer him to the pad, you know?
So
That's
cool.
some aggressive shit right there. He went for him badly. I mean, it was always like, right, well, I'm going to either break my arm or I'm going to do enough damage to yours to get you out of that lock. But he really went for his ass badly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sarnev won me 100%. Won me 100%. And anybody that watches that, like, there's no shame walking away from that table with that loss because it was awesome.
Absolute weapon, mate. He really is. Absolute weapon, that kid. I mean, obviously, his pedigree, for those people in the chat that don't know, this is a guy who's been world champion. He's dominated in Bulgaria for a lot of years at his weight. Man's a friggin' animal. Can pull anywhere. A lot of the Bulgarians, I mean, let's talk for a moment about the middleweight match there. Because, mate, Plamen Dimitrov is arguably the most underrated Bulgarian puller.
Yeah, he's super under the radar, right?
Oh,
like I don't believe that many non-intensely watching people know who he is.
Yeah, I would agree, and they should.
And they should, and because he has an interesting style. My question is, because I don't know as much as I should about him. I got to go back in time, but the only thing we saw from him was feet forward, back pressure, big wind up, sacrifice his body position completely, mostly. Is that what you usually see, or have you seen him in different?
I've seen him in different positions, but he's such a clean top roller. He's so proficient
good.
At he's pretty much like, I don't want to say boringly efficient because it's not that, but he's kind of boringly efficient.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what he's going to do every single time, and it just keeps working.
Yeah, he's really, really high level. Super dangerous lad. Solid, both arms. Man's a frigging monster. And not a lot of people do talk about him. He doesn't get talked about as one of those upper echelon lads. And he's a match for pretty much anyone in or around that weight class and going up some. He's a frigging weapon. So, yeah, keep your eyes out for that guy. Plamen Dimitrov, total monster. Knock over a couple of these super chats, and then we will get on to the idea of tonight's show, which is what's coming up in Dubai. We're only 1 week away. So White Wolf, who's keeping us busy tonight, Neil and Uncle John. Historian already set the match. I requested it on the channel, and I've dibs on Jesus. Tell Tesch to back off. Danny Tesch, mate. If we can pull it up at Arm Wars, I do believe we get a good few subs from that. Might even get
White Wolf. One question for you does your support for Jesus also mean Bud Light's support is also behind Jesus? Because that might cause a few problems, buddy. Bud Light is not
going on with that. What the frig's been going on with the?
It's over. Bud Light is over, man.
Is it honestly?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I heard it's really gone off. I mean, we don't hear about that stuff over here.
Well, they hired they went with the. I don't have to worry about getting in trouble on this chat. They went with the transgender person, right?
Right.
And then they hired the transgender person to do the advertising, and then people did not like it at all. They did not like it.
Big flare up, my God.
And it lost, according to the internet, which I watched for 5 minutes.
Right.
Bud Light lost its first place position in the hierarchy of beer in the US for the first time in a million years.
Good Lord.
And I don't know if that's just Bud Light or
I
if it's like
we'd have some controversy on this show, John. But no. Apparently it's more worse. Talking of non-controversy, here's one of your biggest fans. Her name is Carolyn Looms, and she's in the mother fluffing house.
Carolyn.
And she's gone flying in with a Long Live the Javelin 98 Twinkie match. #Neil. I hope those last two aren't linked. And if they are, don't make a big thing of it. Leave that to the missus later on. Now then, here we go. David Toms with another fantastic super chat. He's come flying in. He's put, live stuff is great, but Arm Wars always produces a superior quality finished product. which some of us greatly prefer. Thank you, Neil. Hey, David, that's awesome, mate. I'm really glad you're enjoying the films. We had another one go out on Friday.
Dude, I was going to say Popescu versus Mindaugas.
Mindaugas, the rematch.
That was nice.
You were there for the first one of those, weren't you?
Yeah.
And hell of a match, back and forth. I think the first one, don't quote me, you can go back and watch it, but I think the first one might have been decided on the buckle. Whoever had the buckle.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, whoever had the buckle, I think ended up paying for it. But yeah, go back, watch that, and then obviously watch the match that we put out on Friday, which was the rematch from that.
Yeah.
Couple of things on the first one. The first time Mindaugas had pulled once and struggled more in his match. That led to a little bit of doubt in that mind that it was a match that he really wanted back. Check it out. Tremendous rematch.
Really
You've
good.
got to say, Mindaugas is a friggin'...
Oh, God, you can't. Yeah.
You can mix it up. Put him in with who you want.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
You know,
Doesn't
you're
matter.
in a match. Not a big man, but God, he punches above his weight.
Powerful.
NWUK1, thanks for your super chat, brothers, but not sure if you've seen Jerry's short upload with the bench press mess up. Oh, here we go. A little bit of rep bench on here, son. But can you confirm or deny he was attempting Neil's 100 kg rep challenge? I have not seen this.
I've not seen it either.
But I do know that both Jerry Cadorette and Monster Michael Todd have done a bit of high rep bench on 100 kilos, maybe 110 kilograms for reps. And both of them are not the best range in the world, but both of them have got some big numbers. Not going to quote on how many, but it's something stupid. I think Jerry made a little bit of a thing about it the last time he pulled, or when he was pulling with Gennady.
Yeah.
It was one of his mainstay training methods. And I think it was 110 kilos he was benching for some stupid number, 40 or 50 reps or something nuts. But yeah, man's got some weird shapes and does some weird things. And he may not look like he's got great endurance, but believe me, you get into a battle, you'll know you're in with that guy, because 6 minutes in, he'll still be strong and still be going. Very rarely seen. In fact, have I ever seen in the last 5 or 6 years Jerry lose a really long war? Can you recall him losing a long match? The other
on technicality, he did.
Or pins.
No,
not
on pins.
When the last time he lost I think Mike got him at the UAL.
Oh, probably like 2015, maybe.
Something like that, probably.
Yeah.
Again, I'd have to check the dates, but I think that was the last time that I saw him beaten in a bruiser. And I think it was halfway through the class at the UAL Supers, and he lost a round to Mike Todd in a screamer. Great match. Check that out if you can find it. Probably on either Arm Sport Videos or Arm TV.
Yeah.
Unbelievable battle, that. NWUK1's coming with another super chat. Oh, no, he's not. That's the same super chat that I read earlier, surely. But I'm making sure that I get his in because I missed one the other week. Oh, no, it is a new one. Uncle John leaving his Commonwealth before King Charles exacts his revenge. There's maybe something in that.
Look, me and Charles are cool. We've had our go around. It's all right, everybody. It's all right.
Talked it over and they passed it. Here we go. White Wolf has put Uncle John gets his Canadian citizenship, then bails. I'm a Julie as well and not interested at the moment in moving back due to Justin's rule.
Yeah.
Another controversial topic, as I understand it, that I know nothing about, but yeah.
Oy.
Let's have a look.
Well, I'm really only moving to like Canada Junior, right? I'm going to Minnesota, back to my old place of origin. So it's still cold.
And this is mostly around the medical potential there,
Yeah.
isn't it? To recover your back.
Yeah.
So that you can get some serious medical treatment on your
well, so I can find out what, if anything, can be done. And then we're planning to be close enough to my family. So if I have to if it's so bad that I'm like out for like months, and they have to like restructure the whole spine, then I'll have some extra help around.
Yeah, you've got some family around you. That's fair enough, mate. And as I say, I really hope it doesn't come to anything like that serious, mate. But I understand exactly where you're coming from in that respect. It's something.
And now I'm kind of in more of a mode of, okay, like surgery is not like the goal, right? The goal would be, can I get rid of the pain? At the very least, can I get rid of the pain?
Yeah.
And slow down the progression of how bad it's getting. And I think I can. It's just not functional here in Canada. Like they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to they don't want to hear anything about anything experimental. They don't want to it's really difficult.
Yeah. And like you say, I mean, injuries are injuries in arm wrestling. You can get arm injuries, you can get whatever you want, but you start messing with your back, totally different level. Totally different level. It's the central system, isn't it? It controls the whole damn thing. So you really need that in play, and hopefully they can get you somewhere with it, mate.
Yeah.
Big Grove Goats just come flying in. He's put happy Father's Day to all the dads on here. Thank you very much, mate. We're going to talk to a few of them in a minute, get this thing rolling proper, and see if we can get a bit of insights from you guys, and also see what John thinks. We're 1 week away now. Just noticed we've about 200 people in. Want to say hi to everybody who's in the chat. If you're just joining in, welcome to The Fix, show 156. 3 years.
3 years.
3 friggin' years of this thing. Yeah, Sunday nights have never been the same since we cracked up The Fix. We've had highs, we've had emotional highs, we've had emotional lows. I want to, on a personal message, say a massive thank you to everybody who's contributed to The Fix over the years. To Ryan Bowen, to Rolly Ray Lipinge, to the White Oak Paul Lynn, to this mother fluffer right here, to Devin Larratt, to Travis Pageant, to John Brazink, to Rob Vigent Jr., to Jerry Cadorette, Doug Ehrlich, all the guys that have jumped on here week after week, giving up the time, giving up their energy to entertain you, to talk to me. It's been awesome. And thank you mostly also to you guys who are in the chat, because to be perfectly honest, if you guys are not tuning in, there is no fix. That's what we're here for. So massive thanks.
One for the chat, one for Neil Pickup. Neil Pickup, ladies and gentlemen, the supernatural, making it all happen. Very, very nice.
Mate, I was thinking about this, when you have one of your quiet moments. I was thinking about this the other day, and I think I was watching one of Paul Italia's shows. And he was on there with Devin and an MMA fight, a good show. It was
yeah. I saw that a little bit.
And I was watching that, and I was just, and everybody was there in the chat. I was just listening in, was working here. And I thought, my God, look, the arm wrestling has evolved so much in this 4-year period. And evolution being the key word. It's just completely changed. Just a different animal to when we were to pre-COVID.
We Jake, Aussie arm wrestler, and I we had to skip a night of Maximum Bang Monday because it was his Zadie's birthday. So he was doing that. I was away.
Omega.
And he replayed our first ever episode of Maximum Bang Monday. And that was only like a year and a bit ago. And I'm just like, it's different. It's changing so fast.
Unbelievable.
Way fast.
Weren't you the first guy to go live though?
So I was not the first to go live. The first to go live was probably what was it called? Arm Hub. And that you had Chris Gobby and Joe Drellick and Herman Stevens, right? They kind of did that. And there was a couple other guys that did podcasts that were recorded. But then once I figured out how to do the whole live stream thing, then I showed you how to do it. I show Ryan and Devin. And then once people caught on, it's been pretty fired up.
Just changed the landscape entirely, mate. It really has. And I don't care who it is. I mean, you have your guys that you have your favorites, you have your guys that you tune into. But one thing I will say is that a lot of the people that are active in the chats, they're frigging everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
And as you said at the start of the show, and we're talking about the arm historian, new people cropping up, doing their thing. and it's awesome. There's rarely a time, well, you'll turn on YouTube and somebody is not live.
Yeah.
And
It's
some of these
going.
guys obviously are professional YouTubers. Ozzy is a professional. That's what he does. You're not, are you, mate? You're sort of semi-pro, aren't you? I think.
Yeah, I kind of decided to get away from the consistent posting stuff. I'm lucky enough over the last 3 years that I kind of created through, a series of a couple wins, some big losses, the javelin. I kind of created, I put myself there as like a person in the community, right? So I'm very lucky now because we're almost 6 months into this year, and I think I've gotten 7 commentating gigs so far, right? So it's like every month, sometimes 2 a month. And that's been really awesome to go around and just see a match like Sonev and Larratt.
Yeah.
And I was this far away.
Mhm.
I was this far away. And that's what I want to get out of it. I of course I want to keep arm wrestling. I like to train. But I don't know how stupid this sounds, but everything that I ever wanted to do in arm wrestling, I have done it.
Yeah.
Right. I was at Arm Wars. I've done commentary on big events. I am friends with Neil Pickup and a number of other people. Right. So for me, I'm like, it's all cake from here on. Right. It's all the frosting now. I just get to enjoy and kind of do what I want when I want. And I like it a lot. I like it a lot right now.
No, good for you, John. I know that you're putting a brave face on, and you've got some major challenges out there. But on a personal note, I hope you're able to overcome all of those, mate. Get back, continue what you're doing now, and also we get you back on the table, javelin the piss out of people for many years to come. And no, joking aside, you get pulling back strong again, mate, and getting there doing what you do. And you never do know. Maybe I'll be up there with you. Who knows?
Oh my goodness! You realize I've been having dreams over the last week, and you're in them. Okay, I'm like, I don't want to say too much.
You don't tell everyone.
But I've been dreaming about you, Deal.
People will talk, man. People will talk. He's just given Paul Maiden like sound bites for the absolute quality. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some arm wrestling now, mate, and get a bit of a feel for how we feel these matches are going. So, ladies and gents, if you were not aware, if you were living under a rock and you didn't know, it's almost time. King of the Table next weekend, and we get to see it go down. Our very own Rolly Ray Lipinge. For those of you who watch a lot of the fix, if you've been a regular here on the fix, you'll know Ray. You'll know his stance. You'll know his pedigree. You'll know the fact that this guy is a very, very complete arm wrestler. And I want to say an extremely mentally strong arm wrestler as well. And a few months ago now, he's on the fix, talking about matches and so on, and he said he loves a challenge. Well, he's got a massive challenge. This is I don't want to do Ray down because he's a superb arm wrestler, but I would say that he will go into this, and I bet he would say himself that he will go into this as a massive, massive underdog. Oh, I don't think many people are going to be giving him a hope in hell.
Yeah.
How big an underdog is he, John? In your eyes, you know what he's facing. You know him well. How big an underdog is he?
Real big. Real big. Now, what is the exact size? It's hard to say, because when was the last time Engin was active on the right arm? Was that against who's the guy with the big hand that he pulled a few years ago?
Arthur.
Yes. Yeah. Was that the last time we saw him?
When he pulled Makarov, mate, Makarov is elite level. We're talking ridiculous level. And I want to say, to be honest, that was right up until the point where he damaged his bicep.
Yeah.
Engin was looking incredible.
Yeah.
He previously lost. For anybody in the chat who doesn't know, he previously lost to Arthur Makarov. Then they rematched, and at the rematch, I think Engin was up like 2-0. He'd certainly, I think he flashed in maybe the first round, almost the second round, had a little bit more of a pull, took the match, but then got hurt. Tore something in his bicep. But let's be honest, that was at a ridiculous level.
Yeah, that was at a high level. Now, people in the chat saying he pulled John in Norway, but was that a legit real match, or was that kind of like a couple of buddies having a go? I can't remember.
I would think it was a legit real match, but it was certainly not 100% Engin, and probably not a good match, if you know. It's not
right.
I mean, Engin at his best, not going to do anything with John.
Yeah. Well, here's what this tells us. There is probably a huge percentage of people that have never really seen Engin pull.
It's true.
Like, for real. Now, look, I can have all the feelings about Engin I want, but let me be clear. Engin is the real thing. If there was ever a real thing, Engin Terzi is it. Now, what do I want to see from Engin? I want to see the mean MF Engin. I want to see that angry Turk come out. That guy where he looks you in the eyes and you cover your ears because you know he's coming to clip him right off the side of your head.
That guy exists.
That's the guy I want to see. But for Ray's sake, I hope it's a kinder, gentler Uncle Engin. That's for Ray's sake, because Ray, as good as Ray is, I don't think he's
really good, isn't he?
Really good.
I mean, really good player.
But Engin is a different thing mentally. Like when he gets to a table, it's like he's woken up at 2 a.m. and he saw somebody talking shit about him in the live chat, and he wakes up, he gets on the fix just like he gets on that table. And Ray, you might be the guy that was talking shit about him.
Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because I think you make a very good point, mate. It's where Engin can get himself mentally for this match. Where is he comfortable with getting himself? Because let's be honest, there's no needle here. We're looking at approaching 50-year-old Engin Terzi. Yeah. He's not the guy. Let's make no mistake about it. Engin is not the guy. You can't say that Engin Terzi is peaking for this match in the realms of his career. If you look at the spectrum of what he's done, this is not a prime Engin, not by any stretch of the imagination. But his residual level is a enigma in itself. We're talking about the enigma of rage. We don't know where his residual level is. But I do know that when you're knocking around at East versus West and backstage, when he's tired out, ruined, been running the show, and one of the Georgian kids will go like, I ain't anyone up. And they'll get on the practice table, and you can see that they're still like, holy shit.
Yeah.
His connection with the pro nation is so strong.
Engin is permanently at a certain level. Like, Engin's lowest level he can possibly get to is still higher than 99.9% of the universe, right? Like it boggles the mind, right? Like Engin is elite, and then some. And his knowledge and his ability is, we know the knowledge is there. The only question we're going to have is how rusty are the pathways, right? He knows the pathways, but how hard can he hit them, and how consistently can he hit them?
Yeah, I think if I have a concern for Engin, it's purely and simply level of preparation and endurance as a result of that level of preparation. I think with Ray, knowing Ray and knowing what Ray will have put into this, no doubt, and speaking to Ray himself, I honestly imagine that Ray will have prepped his ass off. I mean, I have no doubt that Ray is in really good condition coming into this match. I know he's not heavy, but I know that He's been working hard, and what a set of people he's got to work with. I mean, my God, from the technical perspective, he's surrounded what he doesn't know himself. You know, I mean, the guy is vastly experienced, unbelievably technically proficient, as we've seen in Arm Wars, we've seen everywhere. Lad can pull anywhere and everywhere, and will. He's brave. But the other thing is, if that wasn't enough, he can draw upon Janis Amlins, Sandra Sheris. He's got sparring partners the likes of Kaspers Gravis, Blumanis, you know, Krasovsky, you name it. It is a who's who of top class pullers that he can draw upon day in, day out. And they're of all sizes. You know, you've got Vlad the Destroyer with a small hand and wicked speed. And then you've got Raymond Antonovic, who's more control with that gigantic thick hand. He's got just an absolute raft of people at different levels and different levels of skill and power to train with week in, week out. And the man is a professional arm wrestler.
Yes.
This is what he does. Fact.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think you are specifically qualified to answer this type of question. Ray, I know Ray. I've had many conversations with Ray. Ray looks at Engin like many of us do and sees one of the best of all time. Now, you, throughout your career, you've told me stories of when you pulled Cobra, you know, early on. You pulled John, and you kind of were looking up to those legendary guys as you went. How much of a psychological effect does it have?
Oh, I think that's harnessed to the individual, John. So I can tell you that, you know, if you were going to pull, let's say from myself, if I was going to pull with John Brzenk, I have more respect for John Brzenk than just about anybody that's ever been on an arm wrestling table. But if I was to go on there and try to beat John Brzenk, I'd probably try harder than I'd ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not that you don't respect him. It's absolutely the opposite. But it's like, I mean, my sons, right? My youngest son would rather beat his big brother in a sport than any other. He doesn't care. I mean, you could say he's a kid, there's $1 million over here, and you know, or you can beat your brother. And he's probably going to go, I'll do my brother in swing ball. Yeah. I mean, you know, it is real. You really, really want to beat that guy. Yeah. And the funny thing is with Ray, he's immersed himself so much in this sport that you can kind of identify with the fact that, yes, he sees one of the greatest of all time. And yes, I imagine he sees that he's a huge underdog and thinks to himself, well, in some respects, what have I got to lose? But just somewhere inside of him, there may also be that.
But what if I win?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that career defining, that so that on his checklist, on his scalp list, on the notches on the bedpost, what a name to have. You know, if it's like Engin Terzi completed, how many guys have got that one? You know? Very few. It would be a huge, huge moment for him. If he could win this thing, oh my word. Oh my word. From a purist arm wrestling perspective, massive win. Huge win. What does it do to Engin? If Engin on the flip side, is Engin thinking, don't fuck this one up? That's a good point. Like, do you think, okay, does Engin, you know Engin way better than most people do. With Engin coming back for this match, do you think in his mind, he's like, all right, it's this match, and then we are going here, here, here. There are things that he wants to accomplish before he truly has to hang it up? Yeah, I think Engin is, in my opinion, probably the most singularly obsessed individual that I have ever come across or encountered in my life in relation to arm wrestling. The man is utterly and completely consumed and obsessed with the sport of arm wrestling to an unbelievable level. Mm-hmm. And almost slave to himself in some ways. Could he ever walk away? Could he ever give up the sport? I'm not sure he could. I think a few of us fall into that category. I don't know whether I could. I really don't think I could. You know, it sort of defines you. But with Engin, I do believe that there are still things that he wants to do now. I think he'd love for more people to recognize him as an arm wrestler, even though he's not that guy. He's not the Enigma of Rage anymore. He's still an extraordinarily experienced, extraordinarily proficient, truly magnificent arm wrestler. And as you said earlier, right now, his residual level is probably very, very high. And it's interesting to see, with so many guys that are resurgent in the sport, how much he wants it and how far he can go. But he said to me that he'd like to pull in Arm Wars. He'd like to pull in King of the Table. He'd like to pull in East versus West, at least one match in each, and then he may hang it up. I think he'd like to go out with an absolute swan song. I think he'd like to go for one more big serve, against somebody, whoever that is. Somebody like, I mean, is it Samusha? Is it Zalaev? Is it? I don't know, but I reckon it's someone like that.
What's his weight? What's his weight right now?
I think he's probably somewhere between 90 and 95, I would imagine. But I think if he was really going to turn it on and really focus, let's say he gets through Ray, right? Let's say the form guide's correct. He goes out there and he does what Engin does. And if you're asking about strategically, what do I think he does? I think he finishes the game. I think he just done.
Yeah.
Tries to put Ray out quick, because I don't think he wants to get embroiled in long matches. I think he'll try to just completely finish it. Now, if he does that and he looks impressive and he wins with consummate ease, then I think his next outing is against that next step. You know what I mean? And I think down the tracks, he will be looking for a name, and it could be Rob Bidgent Jr.
Ooh.
It could be Hajimurat Zulayev.
Right.
It could be, and I mean, could he even go up a little bit and pull someone like? Maybe not. I was going to say, I would imagine Samushi is probably more. I was going to say Paul Lynn, but probably not. I don't know. But Sasho Paul Lynn would be bloody interesting if he could get to that upper echelon level, But I think optimum Engin, probably nearer that 85 round, that kind of mark.
Yeah.
So Daniel, I mean, Bojidar, I suppose, comes in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could he do something with Sasho? I don't know. It's going to be a name, though. It's going to be a name.
All I know is that Engin, I want it. Everybody wants it. Bring us the anger. Bring us the angry Turk. Show them the power, Engin. That's what we want.
We may not see it with Ray.
Right.
Just because I think underneath all of that, Engin will have massive respect for Ray, and rightly so.
Yes.
And I think he genuinely really likes Ray. And also, Ray will probably temper his approach a little, I reckon, because of who Engin is and the fact that Ray's such a fan of arm wrestling. I just think he'll probably, he'll not back off, but I think he'll be more respectful. He's not going to bring it to him. Whereas maybe, you put him over across the table from Artem Tainov, who's the kind of, that explosive, raw, going to try and take your head off guy. That's when we'd see the Enigma of Rage.
Yeah. We could have got it in the opener if they would have pushed Ray back a match and give him Evan Burgoyne right out of the gate. Then we'd see the Rage.
Maybe more than we've ever seen. Ever at any time. I don't know. But I reckon that could happen.
Put the butts in the seats, I'm telling you.
So we're going with the score prediction here, mate.
Yeah.
What are you going with?
So that they are sticking with 6 rounds, right?
Yep. King of the table, 6, possibility of a 7th.
I'm gonna go.
Holy shit.
Like, don't get me wrong, I will be rooting for Ray hard. I will be rooting for Ray all the way, but I think it's going to be something in the neighborhood of 4-1 for Engin. Or 5-1 for Engin.
5-1 Engin. Okay. I've got to go with if Engin wins, I think Engin just wins.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah. If Ray, oh mate, if Ray could get in it, wow.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if there is that option where Ray finds some spot early on, if he finds a spot where Engin doesn't have all of it, then that could cause a lot of problems.
You'd have to think if you try to envisage them, if you're trying to visualize this thing in your head, I think that Engin tries to just bullet him, just away. And when he does that, if there is some issue that's inherent, some damage in the arm, you'd have to think that over the rounds, as the rounds go by, if he's not able to go straight to the pad and he gets opened a touch, hangs off there, and there's some damage, and Ray can put the brakes on, you know, I'd think the back end of the match, Ray maybe has more of a chance. Early, if Ray gets in there early, oh my God.
Yeah, that's game on then. I mean, that's what I want. For sure.
Everybody inside him would love to see it turn into a screamer. I've got to be honest, I mean, you know, I think Ray needs the rosary beads.
Yeah. Well, I think the match sells itself, right? The match, the opportunity to see Engin pull, to like, I'm as a guy who has had go-arounds with Engin, I'm telling you, it's important. It's important for arm wrestling to let everybody see Engin pull, because he's a different thing. He's a different thing. And you cannot take that away from him.
Absolute weapon on the table, and also he's a different thing just in his head. His approach to it is just different from most people, and most people will ever go. I mean, I did a lot of, go back and check out on the channel the Deep Inside the Mind series that I did, and Engin shows on there, of which there are many parts. And I know he recounted a story when he was in the US pulling, where he didn't win the Worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it may have been after the Illinois Worlds. Don't quote me, but go back, check that show. And he said he was up in his hotel room after the match, led in the bath, and he was so angry and so furious that he didn't win, he was contemplating cutting his own arm off. Now, and he wasn't joking. Now, I mean, I've taken some losses pretty bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have never contemplated cutting my own arm off due to being so disgusted. I mean, think of how that would affect my general habits. You know what I'm saying? Not a good look, man. So, you know, there's ups and there's downs, and there's both of them really quick. And if you cut your arm off, not for much longer. So let's leave that one where it lies. But that's just to give everybody in the chat a bit of insight about Engin Terzi. We can go.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm excited to see that match. It's a very exciting match.
So the Gorilla.
Yes.
Corey West. A man who many people would see in their nightmares when he's on the top bunk and the legs of the bunk are not that thick. It's a scary dude. Can you imagine? Jesus. 200 kilogram, wide as a barn door.
Yeah.
Obnoxiously strong. Is he strong enough for Steel Morozov?
I've been going back and forth on this. Like, I'm a big Corey West fan, and I'm just looking at what Morozov has done lately, and I'm just like, oh my God, who is it that's got something for him? And so I actually talked to Devin last weekend.
Okay.
And I was like, Devin, I want Corey to win so bad. Does he? Just tell me, like, how good is his chance? And Devin's like, hey, buddy, it's a pretty good chance. And so that gave me a lot of like, because Devin understands these things. Devin understands both of these guys. He sees where things are at. Now, I think Morozov is a favorite for sure. He's a favorite, but Corey West just has a couple of spots where if he can get it, it might just be over, right? If he can hit those couple of little areas. But the question is he going to be able to do that to the freaking Terminator? I don't know.
Well, it's interesting that he can come out the blocks as fast as he can. I mean,
yeah,
people look at Corey West and you might think, oh, okay, he's not going to be that quick, but he moves fast. For a guy that big, I mean, you know, my missus will often say, does size matter? Well, put it this way, if it does, size, this motherfucker has a dark side. And it's not like Engin's. We're talking an actual dark side, you know? Big bastard, criminal. I mean, this guy throws away his old clothes and they can make a tent and give it to fucking homeless people. The guy is massive. So if he lands on you, if he sets himself, if he can bring the match to him, get in a hook, get tight, I would love to see whether Morozov can just hang that up. If he can just hang in there, because, you know, Darikian gave him problems early. Where's he going to be at with this? If he gets hooked by Corey and Corey jumps on him, could do some damage. My concern for Corey West is, I think Morozov is so professional and just an athlete. Absolute athlete.
Elite.
And in the long grass, over a long, I actually think this match would fancy Corey more if it was 5-rounder. I think East versus West would favor him more. I think the longer the duration, the more the opportunity swings in favor of Morozov, just on sheer stamina, because it will be a truly Herculean effort for Corey to be able to blast through Morozov. If he can just gun him 4 times, then wow.
Yeah, incredible.
Because my God, if he can do that, fair enough. That's ridiculous. I'm struggling to see that manifest itself, personally.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see flashes and getting this thing over really quick.
I think you might early, you know what I mean? But over that many rounds with a guy that well-rounded, unless there's an injury, if both men finish the game, if both men are fit, I think they're both strong enough to give the other one serious trouble. Yeah.
Well, and I think it was the match with Corey and Alex at King of the Table, where they had that first round match, which was basically an entire super match in one match.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing played out in that one match. Corey came out on the losing side of that. And then we saw kind of the rest of the blocks fell down after that happened. So, but I still believe that if Corey West would have come out with the win in that round, we may have seen a significantly different match against Cadorette. But the question is, does Corey have more stamina now? Is he going to be able to have that war in round 1 if they meet in the middle and then keep going, win or lose? Because that's the name of the game, right? Doesn't matter who wins round 1. It's about the rest of them, right? It's always about the rest of them. So
I know that he's certainly evolving, and he's only been, to cut him some slack, he's not been in the game for a long period of time.
Yeah, not a lot.
He's been quiet since that last outing at East versus West. I haven't even, you know, I haven't seen him active. He may have been active, but apologies if he has, guys, in the chat. But I haven't seen him active in the US. I haven't seen him at a lot of events. He looks like he's just been away, had his head down, focused on the task in hand. I think he's known about the match for, I don't know, months. And I think we're going to see probably a very different version of Corey West than we've ever seen. That's my honest opinion. Is that guy strong enough? Is that version strong enough? Can he have had that many strides? Because I don't for 1 minute think that Morozov's been sat on his ass doing nothing, you know? So
I don't think he knows what that is. I think he just lives inside of a pulley machine.
He is so, I mean, he's like the perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's what is he? 6'5", absolutely shredded. Looks like a friggin' He-Man figure. I mean, he's just ridiculous. And
he's
very
young.
versatile.
And he's young to boot.
Yeah, he's only a puppet. Having said that, so is Corey.
Yeah.
They're both only young, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people, when the match was first announced, thought it would be a whitewash, thought it'd be over quick. I'm not sure it's going to be. I think it could be better than people think. But very exciting, guys. Remember, if you haven't got your pay-per-view, get over there, check it out. King of the Table goes down next weekend, and one more match we're going to just touch upon. Everybody's talked about it for so long. We've seen it once before. I think there's a pattern that's emerged with Devin matches where he does like to get under people's skin, where he builds the match, where he puts bums on seats, he puts eyeballs on screens. In this instance, there genuinely is real needle. I mean, I was in the room with the WL, right? And when these guys first went at it, and it was bristling. When we came out of there, the cameraman from the WL said, shit, that was really uncomfortable. Like they were genuinely concerned that something was going down. It was a little edgy. Sometimes these things get carried away, and sometimes there's real animosity there. And you did get the feeling that day that something was ready to boil over. Has that subsided a little? I don't know. I think it's a much different Dave Chaffee, if I'm honest. I think Dave Chaffee's matured. Yes. I think his time as a dad, and he's maybe softened him out a little. Dave is a lovely guy anyway. But I think Devin has the ability to just tweak him a little bit in the wrong direction. You know,
I'm not going to confirm or deny that I may or may not have been a part of several brainstorming sessions on just how to trigger Dave Chaffee.
It could have happened.
A lot of different ideas were floated around. We actually were trying to get Dave involved in a debate. We wanted to have Devin and Dave, and Aussie was going to be in Dave's corner asking questions. Then I would be in Devin's corner, and both guys would have to answer questions. I think Dave wisely turned that one down, but that would been a hell of a bit of content.
Yeah, Dave's always been that guy. I mean, it would have been amazing. I've gone down. Dave's always been that guy that wants to just let his arm wrestling do the talking. Devin, thankfully, is not that guy, and he will let everything do the talking and build this thing up. And he puts in a shift, really puts in a shift, trying to make people's attention and eyeballs come to this match. He'll hang it out there, put it on the block, and he's done so again with this one. But I do think with some justification. I do think that this is a different Devin Larratt.
Yes.
I think this is a very different individual from the man that Dave pulled. I also want to say, technically, I think Dave has also evolved a great deal.
Certainly.
We
saw increases by the second in that Vitali match.
Well, the last time these guys went, right, there was a lot of people felt that, look, this was an ugly match, and it was, I think Devin loved it, but it was a double kings at points. It was all over the place. Do you think we're going to see a repeat performance? Or do you think this goes orthodox? Do you think Devin would love this to go orthodox just to show?
Right.
I think if he had Dave running, can you imagine if Devin stayed orthodox and Dave ran? Jesus.
Well, unfortunately for Dave, Rivaz just kind of showed where there is a weakness. Now we're talking about Rivaz just being better at the move that Dave also kind of does, right? Kind of that over the top. And Rivaz was just way the hell better at it. Now, if you're Devin and you see that, do you kind of think to yourself, okay, we need to go top roll here? Or do you identify Rivaz has got a top roll that I do not have? That would still be a mistake for me. Do you see it as a weakness for Dave, or just that Rivaz is Hank Master?
I think that potentially Rivaz is a frigging freak.
Yeah.
I think potentially Rivaz is an absolutely massive bloke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dave's a big lad, but Rivaz made him look small. out there.
Yeah.
And pretty much made everybody look small. He was massive, absolutely massive. Now, I've got this thing. I always try and visualize matches and how they're going to go, and also try to read where the guys are and what they'd want to achieve from the match. And if you're Devin and you're in this match, knowing what Devin does well, he loves matches to go into long, crazy wars.
Mm-hmm.
If he could get a bite on Dave's hand and wrist and had enough top end to stay with it and create damage in key areas, the hand and wrist, and have a situation where he could really bleed Dave, can you imagine if he stayed orthodox and stood up there and was shouting Dave on? That would be, I imagine from Devin's perspective, the ultimate win. I think he would love that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the sort of curveball that comes out of left field, though. All the time we've seen Devin recently, he's been, or prior to the Gennady match, he wanted to make the matches entertaining, wanted to make the matches drawn out, wanted to make them long. After the Gennady match, I think something changed. I think he thought to himself, no, that. And I really believe that when he pulls Quickvinia again, that will be the last thing on his mind. I think he'll be looking to try to get it done, level the score and just get it done. Sure, if he's absolutely commanding once he's got the match won, then we might see him entertain a little bit. But I really believe he will be going to just get the thing done. With this match with Chaffee, that's what is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Do I believe Devin's going to win? I do, actually, yes. Do I believe Dave is as big a threat as he was to Devin last time? I would have to think no. And what my rationale there is, a number of people that are close to Dave have messaged me privately, put comments in there that he's not in the best shape. Do I believe that Dave's weak? No, not at all. I think he'll come in really, really strong. And I think he is extraordinarily strong. And I think he is dangerous. But I don't think he's as dangerous as he was to Devin last time, because of the fact that I think Devin's bigger, stronger, and more confident this time around. I really think he's a lot more confident. When he's saying, I'm going to kill him, I think he genuinely believes that. I think he probably feels that Gennady Quickvinia represents a much more powerful and much more dangerous, much more versatile opponent than Dave Chaffee does. And he's just come off the back of that match. So I don't believe that's bravado from Dev. I think he really thinks he can win comfortably. Mm-hmm. Whether or not he can remains to be seen. But it's a ballsy move to hang it out there and say, yeah, I think I'm going to dominate this guy. Particularly when Dave has just come off a bad loss.
Right.
Because you don't want to be the guy that loses to the guy that just had that bad loss, You don't want to be that guy. So
I will say, I think Devin has more to lose. Devin has a lot more to lose, I think, if he takes a second loss in a row. Now, does that enter into his game plan? I don't think it does. My takeaway from being with Devin last weekend was exactly what you said. The confidence is real. The confidence of that is real. I think he holds high respect for Dave. But he knows a lot. When he talks about the way Dave pulls, he understands how other people arm wrestle better than people understand how they themselves arm wrestle, right? He's very good at that. So do I think we'll see a King's move? Yes, I definitely think we'll see a King's move. I don't think the 7x7 pads are going to stop it.
Do you think it will be early, John? Do you think it'll be immediate King's?
First round, Dave, power. Devin puts on the brakes. Now, Dave might actually win that first round. Yeah. If, like we have seen in some of his previous matches, like Vitali, Dave was making some very smart transitions, right? Yeah. If Dave hits Devin and he follows all the way through and he's leaning off the table and Devin stops him in the King's move, it's over. Dave's not going to be able to come back. He needs to have all that power to get Devin across, force Devin into the King's move, but then be able to transition up.
Can you imagine if you're Chaffee, though, if you're Dave and you genuinely do have a bit of disdain for this guy, you genuinely not a Devin fan, and Devin stops you and beats you in round one and put the bleed on. Oh my God. What a horrific place to be. I mean,
Dave,
if you put the ground to swallow you up, it'd be like, oh no.
well, look, Dave, if you don't want that to happen, there is an answer. When you get up for that press and Devin's down in that King's move running away from you, javelin time, baby. Javelin time, baby. I'm just telling you, Dave, like that'll put him on the back foot.
Put anything on the back foot. It's the javelin. It's a mythical move, a dangerous move.
Look, very few survive.
3 men killed. Probably
Yeah.
this
4 now, I think.
Yeah, 4 men.
Guy just
Numbers
just
are going up.
it.
That average goes up. But let me tell you, massive match, ladies and gentlemen. And the significance of this match for both these lads is pretty bloody huge, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty huge, isn't it? You know, arm wrestling, you're only as good as your last match. Maybe you're only as good as your last win or your last loss. I don't know. But what I would say is this. I would hope that these guys don't punish one another bad enough for them to take it really hard. I do worry a little for Dave there because I do feel like that could get messy if he tires. I'm praying that Dave comes in 100% fit and we see the best of him. It would be if this ended up like we saw with Larratt and Chaffee. That's what the fans come to see.
Yes.
This was another absolute banger like that. Awesome. That is what it's all about. It's funny because it's been quite a quiet period, just a little quiet, little calm this last couple of weeks, you know. Few things going on, but nothing really significant. That is about to change, ladies and gents.
Yes.
We're about to go back to boiling point very, very quickly. All sorts of stuff coming up. It starts with King of the Table next weekend. We then go over in July to East versus West. Another monstrous card coming up there. We got a dark card straight off the back of that. And even before that, we've another Arm Wars event, a members event prior to that as well. So things are going nuts at the moment, and it's just about to get really, really messy. Fasten up your chin straps, ladies and gents. King of the Table is coming next weekend. Now, we're going to wrap it up in a moment and let John get off here. We've been on for about an hour and a half. Do you want to say a massive thanks, John, for taking the time to come on the fix? Great to have you here as always, mate, particularly on this 3-yearer. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Jake will be going. I'll look out for Jake in the chat. I haven't been looking, but I'm sure he's knocking about there. He usually goes on straight after the picks, so keep your eyes on there. I'm just going to make sure we're caught up on super chats as well, because we may have one. Z's guitar account's got a super chat. Actually, he's put all Engin's cornermen have to do to get him fired up is say the words Evan Burgoyne. Mate, bet your ass it is. But also, we don't need that because he may go absolutely ballistico. No, I actually think he's going to be very calm. I think he's going to come over and try to. I think Engin's going to try and put on a clinic. I actually think Engin Terzi wants to put on a clinic and show his level. And I think that he's got defined stepping stones in his mind. I think he sees this as step 1 of a 3 or 4 stage mission.
Yep.
Where he wants to come back, make a statement, and maybe, if it is within that man to hang it up, that would give him a level of comfort to be able to do that. I doubt it, personally. I'm not sure he can walk away. And
he'll die at the table. He'll die at the table, right?
He probably will. I don't think he's able to walk away from arm wrestling. And I think that's a bloody good thing for everybody in arm wrestling, because at the moment, what he's doing with East versus West is incredible. Hopefully we keep getting those massive events. Hopefully King of the Table the same. Myself and the mighty James JCJ Wank Statham will continue to try and bring you top class Arm Wars action. Remember, guys, if you haven't seen Friday's film, get over there. I want to say a massive thanks to all our members on Arm Wars channel. Hope you're enjoying the content. Much more to come, guys. If you're not subscribed to Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show, what the hell are you thinking? Get over there. He's got dual nationality. He's making a comeback in 2024. Let's fucking go.
Hey, I just want to say, I had 2 super matches in 2023, and I won them both. So I'm going out of 2023 undefeated.
undefeated.
Oh,
Rolly Ray 2022 style, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. Ladies and gents, thank you for everyone who's tuned in and checked out the show tonight. If you don't mind, before you leave us tonight, please hit that like button. Takes just a second, but it does us a world of good. Hit that like for us. And if you are not already subscribed here on Supernatural Strength, please give us a sub. Get over and sub to the Arm Wars channel. Also, loads of content there for you. If you haven't seen it, check out the films. They come out on a Friday every week. We won't be doing a film next Friday, I believe, just out of respect for the King of the Table. We're going to let all the focus go on there. And then we'll come back.
Have you released what the next match is?
You know, I am not 100% sure what we will be going with next, to be perfectly honest. I'll check out with the wank and we will put it out there very, very soon. But yeah, big matches coming. Loads to show you there, guys. And some really good behind-the-scenes stuff coming as well. But yeah, thank you, everybody, for checking out the show. We'll put a signature on that one, put a bow on it, wrap it up there. John, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, have a cracker. If your day's still running over there in the US, North America, and anywhere it is still early in the day, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Father's Day, guys. Fix 156 in the mother fluffing history books. See you soon. Bye-bye.